2, 3. Pink hairs.
Cowabunga,
Hello.
duet.
What's up, everyone? It's America Plus. I'm your host, Cole McCormick. It's another week, another episode. What's going on, everybody? You made it to another week, folks. It's November 5th. What's going on? It's 12:48 in the p.m. It's holiday season, fall time, folks. Christmas is in the air, and I'm getting cozy with my girl, Shannon Passy. What's going on, Shan? How you doing?
I'm good. I'm getting excited, getting into the festive holiday spirit now.
This is the third time we've hit record on this podcast because the two of us absolutely suck at conversing to one another.
As soon as there's a mic in front of us, we lose all.
I just start not trusting you.
It turns into an interrogation.
Yeah, I start asking you where you were last Tuesday at 6:03. You say Ralph's.
I was with the dogs.
But why does your iCloud say Sprouts?
I was trying to get all the raw milk from you.
You're trying to steal my raw milk?
Yeah.
Well, take it. It's all recalled anyway, so whatever.
All of a sudden, you're like, why are you so sick?
Yep. Well, that's normal, actually, for you.
Accurate.
Welcome to the show, everybody. Welcome to America Plus. See, this is such a good, better, natural start.
Yeah,
I'm so happy.
good.
Let's just roast each other the whole time.
Okay.
Roast me. It's a flame. You get a flame.
I like it.
Today, what we're talking about, guys, we're talking about a lot of cool things. I say that every week. We're talking about goals, manifesting. I've had a good week with like my goals, sort of. You know, I'm going through this weird season in my life where it's like work sucks. Work totally sucks. I just hate working in a kitchen, but it's like a necessary suck. And so I'm dealing with that shit. But everything outside, all the things that are happening outside of that environment is going fairly well for me. You know, like my dad's getting better from cancer. His tumors are shrinking. Podcast is growing. I'm posting more video. I'm doing more stuff. Like I feel confident in that. I feel confident in Magic Mushroom Fun Time, which is my short film coming out Christmas. That continues to be developed. So like all these other things are happy. And I've been in a good headspace doing a practice every morning where I just focus on gratitude and I focus on like how I want to feel and what opportunities I want to come up after Magic Mushroom Fun Time. And that's a practice of bringing myself to a positive headspace and a place that inspires me to create and inspires me to move forward. So there's things, it's like all moving around. It's like all like sort of peaks and canyons, yeah? Peaks and canyons. But they're my goals, and I'm sticking with my goals. And Shannon, I wanted you here, or you said you wanted to come on here.
Yeah.
This has been like a few months in the making. We've been trying to figure out what topic do we want. If you see any flies, by the way, if you see any flies in the video flying around, I'm so sorry, dude. This girl brings in flies.
No. No, they get in through the windows.
Yeah, they get in through the window and they have babies, and there's like a hole in the window.
Yeah.
Not in the glass, but in the metal.
Yes.
It's so annoying.
Sneaking in.
It's ridiculous. Anyway, you want to talk about your goals.
Yeah.
Your goals with animals, your goals with acting. Right now, the strike is still happening for actors,
Yes.
but that might end soon. Maybe.
Yeah. Hopefully
I don't know.
within the new year.
But we've been acting ourselves with a couple short films.
Yeah.
A friend of ours. It's sort of like 2020 all over again. Our friends are making things, and now we're making things. I'm making something.
Yeah.
And I'm planning on having us act in my thing. So we'll see how that goes again. We'll see if I recast myself. I don't know.
I thought you were going to say recast me.
No. No, I don't. I mean, I'm worried about my energy. Your energy's fine. I'm worried about my energy with you. Okay.
You're like, I don't know. I think we need people with more chemistry.
Yeah. For sure. But yeah, Shane, like, what's going on with you right now? Like, in terms of like on a daily thing.
Like daily goals.
Like, do you have daily goals? What are you looking at right now? Like, what's the most immediate thing that you're trying to be better at, or you're trying to move through right now?
I guess with my daily goals, it's doing a good job at work, being like.
And what do you do for work?
So I work at a dog daycare and
Do you love it?
oh my God, I love it. It's the best job I've ever had. I basically am the dog shuttle. So I do work some daycare shifts.
You're the doggy tram?
But yeah, so basically I go to all the like regular dogs' homes, and it's different dogs each day, and I pick them up. I take them to daycare, and then later in the evening I go back to work. I load up all the dogs and I take them back home.
Wow.
Yeah.
Insane.
It's the best, most Hollywood job. I'm a dog chauffeur, but I love it, and all the dogs are great. So I guess my day-to-day goals are to just have a good experience with the dogs, make it a good experience for them, not have any issues with the dogs, and yeah, just making sure everything runs smoothly.
And that translates to like bigger goals, right? Because like there's always like these micro goals, because when it comes to me focusing on Magic Mushroom Fun Time, like that's like in 2 months. And so like that's like a more immediate thing, but I want it to lead to a bigger stepping stone, lead to like more skills being developed, more connections. And this is just like what I want. What are you wanting from this job? Like, what do you want from this job?
Okay, so I've always loved animals. I have never worked with animals prior to this job. But after COVID, I was like, I want to do a day job that I love and something I'm passionate about and something that I'm looking forward to going to each day. And I came across the dog daycare. And so it's been amazing. I've been there it'll be 2 years in April, which is crazy. But as I've been working with dogs, I've always had dogs and cats at home, but I've never worked with such a wide variety of breeds and everything. And the more I've worked with them, the more I've realized that I think the routine that I'm in now, which is acting when I can, but my day-to-day is the dogs, seems to work pretty well for me. And so my like dream would be to be a big enough actor here, be a big enough name that I don't necessarily need to live in LA. I can live elsewhere. And I'm in LA when I'm filming. And when I'm not filming, I want to have a huge like ranch with a lot of land, and I want to have a dog rescue. And so I want to basically take in any dogs that are old, any dogs that have any like special needs, ailments, basically anything that like people might not adopt. Anything that's like on a high kill list, anything like that. And I want to have a dog rescue where basically they come and this is their forever home. I will try to adopt some out if like they're able to be adopted out, but if not, they'll just live with me. And I want to do that.
So like you're not going to try to like have like some sort of a business of like adopting? Like that's not your focus? You just want them there with you?
Yeah, like I basically just want to be like the last step for a lot of these dogs.
These are like older dogs, sicker dogs.
Like all the dogs that people, for whatever reason, the shelters, owners, for any reason, they can't take care of the dogs, I will just provide them their home. And I do want to work like with local shelters and stuff. And like a lot of times when local shelters, they have to euthanize dogs or anything like that, it's because they get overrun with dogs. They don't have enough resources. So along with me having the like rescue, I'd also like to work with local shelters and like expand what they need so that less dogs are getting like euthanized. Mm-hmm. Like they have as many resources as they need so that the dogs can be there as long as they want without having to get euthanized or anything like that.
Mm-hmm. What about like sick dogs? Like, have you thought about that at all? Have you thought about like if it might be necessary to euthanize?
Oh yeah. So like I would take the dogs if one had like wheels, like the disabled dogs that they still have quality of life. Mm-hmm. Any sick dogs that can recover, but they might just need like long-term medicine, things like that, like something that an owner might not necessarily be able to provide in that moment because it can be expensive. I would take in those animals. If by chance there was an animal that the nicest thing to do would be to put it to sleep, then of course I would do that. But I'd like to provide not like a retirement home, but just like a space where any dog that doesn't get picked for whatever reason, any dog that's sick and needs long-term care and it's expensive, any old senior dogs, disabled dogs, I would like to take them in. And I'm not against having like all types of dogs, even young dogs, and trying to adopt them out if they can't be at a shelter. Like it hits the time where they've been there too long, it needs to be euthanized. I will then take those dogs that are like perfectly healthy and young and try to adopt them out as well.
That's pretty cool. What inspired you to do this? Like, is that something that's like already existing a lot, or is it mostly just shelters?
From my experience, it's a lot of shelters. I know there are some rescues in different places, but the ones that I've seen are usually like for profit, or there's a specific type of dog. Because there's one in San Diego that there's a golden retriever rescue, but their main goal is to adopt out the dogs, and it's specific to that breed. So I'm not sure.
So they pick the cutest dog
yeah, they pick the most like
to have
family-friendly
homeless,
dog.
and then they sell it off.
Yeah.
Interesting. But what about like the not family friendly? What about like dogs that don't get along with other dogs?
I would take them. There would be different areas for the dogs.
Be a rough animal area,
There would be
a rough house, and then a soft house.
There would be a needier dog area. Yeah.
Needier
Yeah.
for the ones who need more.
They
Like
need
help?
more. Yeah, they need more love. The ones that are bad behaved.
More ramps.
Yeah, like more ramps. If there's bad behaved ones, I would not have them with the other dogs. I would try to rehabilitate them.
Right.
Because a lot of times when dogs are sad or aggressive, they're just scared. They're not like, no dog is aggressive by nature.
Right.
They've been trained to be scared. So I would try to untrain them out of it.
Right. Well, it's interesting you bring up fear and scare, because there was some doggy news a few weeks ago coming out of the England area that you have much familiarity with.
Yeah.
That's where you were born at. They just banned, or they're about to ban, American XL Bulldogs. They call them bullies. I don't like that. First of all,
pit bulls.
that's a bad narrative. American bullies.
The American XL bully.
Like, why is that? Like, for real, that's really what it
Think
is.
about that. That's funny.
Like, that's some from such
Yeah.
anti-American propaganda
Yeah.
in England, in the old land.
I think.
What do you
it's
think
so
about this? Like, new.
sad.
I was gonna play this clip. I'm not sure if you've seen this clip. It's from the news, Channel 4 News. This is them the Prime Minister talking about the necessity of making sure attacks, because this whole they say it's attacks from bulldogs. Do you think bulldogs are
like pit bulls?
the American XL bullies? Yeah,
Okay.
there's been attacks from these dogs.
Okay.
And that's why they're banning them. Or there's been like 3 attacks
Okay.
this year. So check this out.
Okay.
The breed of the dogs is still to be confirmed, but the police believe that they are XL bullies, the very breed responsible for several attacks in the past 7 days alone. And now the government says they plan to ban them.
What we will do is bring together animal experts in the field, together with the police, to accurately define the breed of concern, and then, using powers in the Dangerous Dogs Act, ban this breed. And those laws will be in place by the end of the year. It's clear that the American XL bully is a danger to communities. It's right that we take urgent action to stop these attacks and protect the public.
Data obtained by Channel 4 News shows the scale of dog attacks across England and Wales for all breeds of dogs. Since 2019, there have been more than 77,000 cases where a person or assistance dog was injured by an out-of-control dog. And last year, 3,500 people had operations to treat dog bites. When we break that down by age, the youngest groups had the largest number of victims. In the last year, 374 were under 4, 359 were aged 5 to 9, and 273 were between 10 and 14 years old. You're about to see distressing footage. This 10-year-old boy was playing outside of his home in Warsaw when he was run down and wounded, with his family struggling.
Okay, I'll just pause it right there, because like it's pretty much like fear-based in my view. They're talking about all the attacks. They highlight all the children attacked, and if you add up those numbers, that's under 1,000.
Yeah.
So that's just interesting how they're highlighting it. But the majority of the attacks are happening with adults, but they highlight
The ones with children.
the ones with children, even though that's not even though it might be close to half of
Yeah.
the incidences. It's not half. More than half are adults. So what do you think about this? Is this a training issue? Is this a dog species issue? Like,
I think it's a training issue
okay,
because growing up in Omaha, it was very like anti-pit bull, and like my dad was like, you don't get a pit bull, like anything like that. And so when I first started working,
and this is the same thing, right? The American XL Bully is the same
Yeah.
thing as a pit bull.
it's like it's closely related.
The
yeah.
same thing. Okay, cool. Pretty much.
Yeah, and so I remember when I first started working at the dog daycare, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm going to be around pit bulls. Like, I'm a little scared. I have never, ever, ever felt unsafe or worried about any of the pit bulls at work. They're the big, they're like the biggest babies.
How
They're
many
so
are there?
nice. There's like, they range from like 5 to 10 different ones that come like on, like they rotate.
5 to 10.
Yeah,
Okay.
I've never had an issue with one. That's not to say that they're obviously any dog can attack. But what I think what it comes down to is just the training. Like all dogs have the potential to be reactive. All dogs, based on whatever environment they've been in or experienced as like a puppy, they can all be reactive. So I think that it's about knowing your dog and knowing before you get a dog the signs of if your dog is anxious, if it's uncomfortable, if it's not happy, if it should be around children in the first place, if it should be around like big groups, if it should be off leash, just anything like that. You should know the signs, the warning signs that your dog is giving you if it feels uncomfortable.
Well, the dog in this video, so the news is showing a dog attacking a kid.
Yeah.
Clearly, it's not the kid's dog.
No, it's off leash. It looks like it like escaped from a yard.
Yeah, is that the other thing too? Like these dogs could have been abused,
Well,
and
that's what
that's
I'm
why they're
saying is-
aggressive, right? That's
Yeah.
another possibility.
Especially with pit bulls of that kind of breed, they're usually, sometimes people will breed them to be like malicious or
Yeah, for fighting.
yeah. So a lot of times I don't necessarily trust just the narrative that the dog is mean. By seeing this video, I'm like, okay, what is it running from? Where does it live? My immediate
Yeah, like it
thing
goes
is,
to the kid, but like
Yeah, my
it ran
immediate-
past the kid. Like it,
Yeah.
the kid was itself was doing something
No, when
in
I
the
see
street.
this video, my immediate
Not that it was the kid's fault.
reaction- No, my immediate reaction is to go and see what's going on at his home.
The dog's home.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because I just don't believe that dogs are born mean in any
Yeah.
sense. There's obviously something going on or some trauma in the dog's past that made it aggressive towards this kid. And it's horrible that the people do get attacked. But I don't necessarily think banning an entire breed is the way to fix it.
I think it's gross. I think it's government. Just another example of government doing like some major overreach. This is just insanity. Like you want us
Yeah.
to believe there's danger everywhere, including in our pets. Like
Yeah.
there's
It's like banning like mean kids at school. You know what I mean? It's like you can't. You have to
Yeah.
go see what the source of it is.
that's actually a really good point. You call the dog a bully already.
Yeah.
How about
you
we
need
just
to
ban bullies?
Yeah, you
ban
need to
bad kids
find
from the
source
neighborhood.
as to why people or dogs are mean.
Yeah.
No one's born that way. That's
Yeah.
just my take on it. But it does make me sad because all the ones I know are very sweet. And it's upsetting because a lot of times those types of dogs don't even make the list of like aggressive dog breeds like that year.
Who makes the list? What do you mean?
Chihuahuas are usually the number one. That's also because a lot of times they're mistreated as well.
Really?
But they're like big biters. And I believe like German Shepherds, my experience, the only time I've ever had issues with a dog is a German Shepherd because they're highly reactive. And so sometimes how they react at a squirrel is how translates then to other dogs or small dogs or small people. But you never see people trying to ban German Shepherds. I mean, in the White House, the German Shepherd has bit Secret Service multiple times.
Oh yeah, that's a
You've
huge.
never even seen them be like, let's ban German Shepherds. They're always targeted as like, this is a great family dog. And I'm not
12
I'm not-
bites later.
And I'm not bashing German Shepherds, but I'm just like saying any dog can be reactive. And I don't think banning a breed is the way to do it because you're gonna, if you start with one of these breeds, it's going to lead to there being 3 breeds available in 10 years.
Right.
It's
just
a
gonna
slippery
multiply.
slope. Yeah, so I think that's not the solution. The solution is to do research
Mm-hmm.
on why they are reacting this way.
Well, I'm happy you think that. I mean, that's like sort of what I wanted to point out. Pretty much, it's
Yeah.
like it just seems like England is just crazy, dude. Like, I feel like there's way too many rules around animals to begin with. I feel like
Yeah,
They
I
just
feel
control
each
us through our
place has
pets.
their like own weird rules about just animals in general.
so. What was something that so going back to goals? When you first got the job, what did you have any goals involving animals? Like you really just like fell into the job.
Yeah, I just always grew up with animals and I loved them, so there was no like.
But
I didn't
I'm-
expect to like it this much.
Yeah, I'm not sure if you even had the idea of having a sanctuary before you got
No.
this job.
No, I always knew that I wanted like a house with land and I wanted to own pets, but I never had the idea for like the rescue or sanctuary until I started working with them. And I think that the more I worked with the dogs and saw how loved they are and like just what a great life they have, it made me sad then when I saw dogs at like rescues or I saw strays. I just saw like the dynamic between one end of the spectrum, these like super loved dogs. They're spoiled, they're going to daycare, they're playing with their friends. And on the other end, you see dogs that literally have never had a home. And it's just so sad. So I'm like, okay, I want to like do something so that if I'm able to, I can have all dogs experience like love and like home.
Yeah, for sure. What made that? Like what was that beginning? Like what sparked that? Was it really just hanging out with the dogs, or was it realizing that something was missing? Like
Mostly just hanging out with the dogs and really getting to know all the breeds and recognizing that I wanted so many different breeds. And I was like, okay, well, the only way I can do that is if I have like land. And then it kind of like evolved from not just me owning a bunch of dogs, but then to like, oh, what if I like take in dogs that don't have homes, or like this is their last home before they pass? Like it just kind of snowballed from there.
that's cool.
Yeah.
What about how do you think you're gonna get there? Like, is the path to the ranch through acting only? Like, what else how else is that gonna go down? Because me personally, I don't have like, I would like the land, but that's not like a big thing for me. Like, that's not like a mission
Yeah.
in my head. The mission in my head right now is to make movies and make podcasts and make them bigger and bigger and bigger. So like I'm trying to figure out the smaller steps
Yeah.
to get there.
Yeah.
What are the smaller steps for you? Or like do you think you still need to discover the smaller steps?
I still need to discover a lot of them. This is like my long term overarching goal. My more day to day versus like still long term, but more accessible goal right now is acting. And I see where they can like interweave.
Intersect, yeah.
Yeah, I can see where they can intersect and how doing well with acting, which has always been like my biggest goal and still is, how that can translate to having the resources to have land, have a house, and start the rescue.
I feel like you should like train a dog for a movie, or I feel like you should try to like do something with animals in movies.
Yeah,
I feel like
that'd be really cool.
pray for an opportunity in that, like, because that's really like what I do. Like that's really like what the part of like manifesting is. It's like you pray and strategize what to do.
Yeah,
It's like you're hoping for something, and then you're from my point of view, it's about being brave enough to take that step into that opportunity, whatever that opportunity is.
yeah,
So I don't know. Like I feel like my when I hear that, I feel like you should look for something like that. Like,
Yeah.
what do you think about that type of idea? Like, can animals in movies and acting intersect anymore along that path? Like,
potentially, yeah.
yeah.
I've never really thought about going that route.
I'm not saying you have to. I'm just saying like
yeah.
I'm just brainstorming things.
Yeah, no, I think that there is like room for that. That would be very cool. I just need to learn more about training. I recently listened to a book about training, and
Yeah, that is like a trainer specific thing.
Yeah, it very much made me realize that I can't own a dog yet.
Yeah.
Especially if I get it as a puppy.
It's a lot of work.
It's 100, like, that is your work, is the dog. So it further proved that that is the overarching long term when you have the resources and time goal.
Right.
But no, I think that there could be a crossover of the dog training and the acting. My focus right now is definitely more on the acting, though. But I do like that.
Yeah, I was just thinking,
Yeah.
you should do like a doggy podcast.
Oh my God.
Value for value dog podcast.
I talk about your dog and you let me pet them.
Sure. I mean, it could be anything. Honestly, like you can really do that. Like that'd be a way to make money as
Yeah.
well. If you're trying to make money or if you're
Yeah.
trying to be seen or be known, like
Yeah.
that's definitely a certain,
Yeah.
that's another path that you can take.
Well, and then I've also thought about like expanding to like the future goal of having the ranch, like having like people help, like having like people on hand help, and they could be like versed in different animals. So I could even potentially have a rescue that takes in any animal, like farm animals, cats, like horses, donkeys.
Tigers, leopards.
No. It would just be like dogs, cats, and like farm animals.
Right.
But I'm like, that would be
Alligators.
So cool. Yeah. Got monkeys.
You're pretty much a zoo now. How about you open up a zoo? How about you buy a zoo?
I know.
We bought a
We
zoo.
bought a zoo. I'll have Matt Damon work with me.
Yeah, you could hire him. Yeah, that could
Be like,
happen.
Matt, I will name this zoo after you.
The Matt Damon Zoo.
Matt Damon Zoo.
Matt
Love that.
Damon's formerly bought zoo because
Yeah.
you bought his zoo. That'd be the story.
It's like Ruth's Chris,
Shannon's Matt
Zoo.
Shannon's Matt Damon Zoo. That's actually super funny.
I love that. But yeah, and I don't know how realistic some of my stuff is because
What do you mean?
some people on here are probably like, oh my God, like farm animal, like I would have to, not saying right now, I'd have to like really train and like learn about all those animals before I got them.
Do you think that's more like train? Let's define that. Is that like training the animal, knowing how to communicate with the animal? Is that training of like as a veterinarian? Because
More of like me training to know everything about that animal.
medically,
Properly take
like
care of it. Yeah.
because it sounds like
Medically,
you'll have to have
food.
doctors and stuff.
Yes, no, I'll have like people like on the farm like working with me. But I would still just need to know like baseline research about all the animals in general, like
Right.
anything about them, any diseases, what they eat.
Yeah,
what they
you got to
need,
figure
like,
out the tour
yeah,
of
like,
what the animals
yes, I need
do
to know
and are.
just everything about them first.
Yeah.
So while I have people who are like trained specifically with that animal, I still have like a basic understanding of what they need so I can provide that.
Do you think that's like what's needed for that? Like is that just YouTube and Google? Like how do you get that information? Do you need to talk to people?
Probably talk to people, probably shadow people.
Shadow people?
Probably,
Who are you
yeah,
gonna shadow?
I don't know.
Dog
go
whisperer?
shadow- Yeah. No, like I can go shadow, like, I don't know, make connections with people who are like vets or people that work on farms, people that have these animals, or even people that have had certain breeds of dogs. Just go and like shadow them and see what it entails to look after this dog and or like any of the animals. Just kind of getting that like hands-on experience just so I have a somewhat understanding
Yeah.
of the animal.
Yeah.
Probably take classes, do stuff online with it, maybe like just kind of off the top of my head what I would assume.
Do you have like a rough time frame for yourself? I mean you and I have privately talked about how like both of our time frames for our lives have
Yeah.
been off. It's sort of like something that every young person going
Yeah.
into adulthood always talks about. They thought they'd be one thing at 27.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Acting is definitely like the forefront one.
Yeah,
5
for
to
sure.
10-year goal. The animal one is like now and
Forever.
20 years.
Now and
20
forever.
to 30 years. It could even be in my retirement. You know, like it's just like one of those things where it's like, I just want to help animals.
Yeah.
Even if it comes, I don't want to like lessen or dampen the dream, but even realistically, if it just came down to me having rescued like 5 dogs, or rescuing the dog who's been at the shelter the longest, or the oldest dog there, like I just want to help animals.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm sure the goal will change throughout the years, but what I envision right now, full dream, no limit, having land and a bunch of animals.
100-acre wood.
Yes.
Full of animals and
Yeah.
cats and dogs and tigers and leopards.
Cats, dogs, farm animals.
Farm animals.
I
Bunnies
don't
and
want to
cows.
be Tiger King.
Bunnies and cows and chicks.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds nice.
Yeah.
That sounds like a beautiful dream.
Yeah.
Then you'll paint all of them. You'll sit on the
Yes.
porch and paint all of them.
Yeah. I'll make little portraits of them.
That'd be cool. Then you could sell those.
That'd be sick.
And that's how
I
you
make
make the movie.
calendars.
That's how you make, the calendars.
Yeah.
The animal calendars.
Yeah.
I like that idea. I think that's cool.
Yeah.
Do you think you'll stick with that? Or do you think there's like, what if you get another job and you're inspired by something else? Like,
I am a big believer that I want to do and learn so many things. Like
you're a believer that you want to learn many things.
I want
What does
to
that
do
mean,
so
my
many
love?
things.
Okay.
Like I'm not opposed to like doing 5 different careers in my life, or like leaning in, like, I don't know. Like I'm not opposed to following different passions and like doing this for 5 years and then doing this other completely opposite thing for 5 years, and whatever I'm passionate about, I want to
Move into that.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I don't have any like limits per se on it right now.
Just curious.
Yeah.
I think it's really cool. I think it's inspiring. I think it's, when you first told me about the animals, it was sort of came out of the blue. I was like, "Are you serious? Like this is like a random. Like you've never really said anything about that before."
Yeah.
But it seemed like you kept just talking about it, kept thinking about it, and kept feeling more real. And
Yeah. I remember I listened to Joe Dispenza and I did like a meditation and I like cried. I remember that night because I like was crying during it. And one of the things I saw lots of things, but one of the things I saw was like me walking on the ranch, and it was like so realistic.
it was real. You got a real moment.
Yeah. Like I could tell you what I was wearing in that moment.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I love that.
I know. And so
Because I haven't had that moment. Like I barely have flashes. Maybe it's because I smoke too much weed. But like
you need to drink more apple juice. Just kidding.
maybe, dude.
My
Like
vice is apple juice.
your key, your unlock. That's your unlock.
Yeah.
I don't know. But like I did the Joe Dispenza stuff for months, and I didn't. It's always very hard for me to, like, I can daydream about anything.
Yeah.
But when it comes to thinking about that future, thinking about that moment that I want to experience,
Yeah.
like that's been hard for me. It's been getting sort of easier within the last couple weeks of thinking about the movie,
Yeah.
or I should say, just thinking about the emotions I want to feel.
Yeah. I will say though, when I did that Joe Dispenza, I was sick. And I am more emotional when I'm sick. And I wonder if because I was sick, I was just able to like open up more to it.
For sure.
Because
For
I
sure.
haven't experienced that since. I think it had to
Well,
be
you
the-
really haven't done the Joe Dispenza
No,
sense.
No. But like I think it had to be the perfect combination of sick and emotional. And
But it stuck with you. I mean,
it did.
that's like some like inventor stuff.
Yeah.
They always like invent the crazy thing when they're sick,
They're like on antibiotics or something. That's so funny.
or they're on Ambien or something.
They're on some heavy meds.
Yeah,
But yeah.
that's inspiring. That's inspiring. Okay, so let me share what I got. So recently, the thing that I manifested was I recently got eligible for getting Twitter money,
Yes.
getting ad revenue share on Twitter. I bought the blue check in August, and now it's November. So a few months went by, and I was able to get through the threshold, and now I hopefully can get money. So as as the avenues of money open up, just more and more money comes to me. That's the situation.
Yeah. And you did it in your time frame.
I did it in my time frame. Yeah, I wanted I needed to get to a certain threshold of impressions in 90 days or within a period of 90 days. And I did that. I got 3 million impressions in like 2 months. So 60 days.
It was sick.
60 days, which is pretty cool. Yeah, so it's weird because when I set the goal, I thought it would feel good to achieve it. And then yesterday when I was like just setting everything up, I was like, wow, this is the most boring fucking thing ever. Like, I so do not care. Like, I can't. I did it in like the earlier morning when I got on my computer and I was like still half asleep. I was like, is this real? Like, am I really like logging in? Am I really eligible right now? Like, I sort of do that. I log into apps half tired, not knowing why I'm logging in. Just an automatic login right when I wake.
Not what you expected.
Yeah, and I see the green check mark. You're now eligible, and I'm like, whoa, this is crazy.
Yeah.
It doesn't really feel like I thought it would feel.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I thought I would have like higher numbers. I thought I would have like millions and millions and millions, like tens of millions.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, even though I still have a lot, and my my followers have grown a couple hundred.
Oh, yeah.
Which is interesting, but the goal of getting eligible has been achieved. So now the next goal needs to be getting some sort of money.
Yeah.
Some sort of cash. And the little steps to that is just posting more. So that's why I'm posting this video.
Yeah.
That's why I'm like trying to have more conversations, like more interviews. Like,
what's your Twitter at?
oh no, it's not my. People already know. It's already Cole McCormick 1 at Cole McCormick 1,
yeah.
or it's on like. Well, that's the weird thing. Like, I never know when to promote it.
Yeah.
Or I never know if I should because
I know.
I haven't linked up. But then if someone's watching the video, it's already on Twitter. So it's like,
Yeah. They're already.
what's the point of tagging me
That makes
if you're
sense.
already seeing me?
I'm like
You know what
so
I mean?
excited about it.
Thank you. Yeah. So
think
what?
it's sick.
What was your? What's your impression of me buying the blue check? Was it a scam? Do you think? And what's your impression of me getting all these impressions?
I didn't think it was like necessary at first.
Yeah.
I was like, okay. Like I really had no opinion on it. I was
You
like,
thought I was just
okay.
an Elon fanboy? Like I just support the billionaire regardless?
I just
value
know
for
that you're
value
really into,
billionaires.
like, into tech and everything, and I know that you were talking about the check mark, and so I was like, I feel like you'll get it eventually, and I was like, I mean, do whatever. If I think I was a little anxious that it might be like a bit of a scam, but it ended up being fine, and so that was like the only negative in my mind was, I was like, I hope you're happy with like
My decision.
with it, yeah,
My
like,
$84.
I hope it works out okay. But no, I think it's sick. You had to explain the whole 90-day impression thing to me a couple of times because I didn't really understand it. But
It could be confusing,
yeah. But no, I think it's really cool. And seeing you've shown me a few people you follow that have gotten like paid for their stuff, and I think it's sick.
Yeah, wouldn't it be insane if I could get like $600 a month
crazy.
from Twitter? Like
Crazy.
that'd be so cool. That would
Well,
really help
and you're
out.
like it's so funny seeing your tweets, and like the one that got the most like, was it most like views or something? Was the one where you just gave a definition of a word because you knew that people were going to like
to look for
click
that
on it.
information. Yeah, just like
And it was the first comment.
trying to figure out what type of information to post has been
Yeah.
interesting. That's really been like the biggest learning thing of how to get a person looking at my thing and what will what will encourage them to engage with it. Like what value are they getting from that post?
Yeah.
So that's been what I'm trying to like figure out. And I'm still not the best at it. I'm still like just like hanging around film Twitter. I'm still hanging around like sort of politics. I get caught up in the memes sometimes, the political memes. I need like I need more. Like I don't engage with Bitcoin Twitter too much,
Yeah.
but I don't know. I need different avenues. I need
Yeah.
now that I've reached this threshold, now I'm looking for more areas to engage with on Twitter. So hopefully more communities or more whatever will come up. But the goal, I guess, I want to make rent on Twitter. That's the real
That'd be
goal.
sick.
Like I want to make $1,200. Like that'd be
sick.
dope as shit. So yeah,
And it's every 2 weeks?
paychecks every 2 weeks. Yeah, that's what it is.
So like twice a month?
Twice a month, like a normal paycheck. They said X wants to be the #1 spot for creators to make a living. So,
That's sick.
like, whatever. I guess I'll see if they're real about that.
Yeah.
But we move forward towards that.
I like it.
And then some other goals. What else did I have? I don't have any notes today. I'm just winging it right now. But
Short film.
yeah, the goals with the short film. I'm in the process of getting all the video from the AI stuff, and that's just a constant. Like I'm not even worried about that not being completed, because it will be completed. Like I'm locked in on that.
It's a daily thing.
Yeah, it's just a daily.
Makes sense.
Daily.
Do you have any goals for the upcoming holidays?
Goals for the holidays. I want to be home.
Yeah.
I want to be able to see my family for the holidays.
Absolutely.
I want more money in my bank account. Like not even, maybe it's a greed thing, but it's also just a bills thing. Like I just want more, just more opportunities for more money, whether that be, I mean, I guess I got to suck it up if it means more work in the kitchen. I guess I got to just do that. But
like less stress surrounding finances.
yeah,
Always
that's
a
the
nice
real
goal.
thing. Less stress around finances.
Yeah.
I think that'd be better. Just
Yeah.
that's why my goal is to make money on Twitter, so I could have less
Yeah.
stress. If I can make, this sounds very non-stressful, making money tweeting.
Yeah. I'm
So
here for it.
we'll see how it goes. But family and money. That's what I want.
Yeah.
Family, money, and just opportunities to connect with podcasting people.
Yeah.
And that's really connected to the Magic Mushroom Fun Time goals, like where I want to be. I want to be able to connect with podcast and movie people,
Yeah.
podcasters and Hollywood people. Like I think that's a big thing to think about.
I
So
love that.
we'll see how that goes. We'll see how that goes. Christmas.
Christmas.
With that, folks, we're gonna head on into the boosts. America Plus is a value for value show. What that means? Okay, so value for value. This is how. So this goes into my short film. This goes into how I'm like building up my name. This is another goal. The goal for the holidays is to build up the value for value.
Okay.
Just the value for value. Just all the value coming into the show. All the value being emitted out into the internet verse.
I like it.
That's what I'm trying to do. Where is my browser? Did you see my browser anywhere, Shannon? It's right here, dude. Value for value. Do you know what value for value is? Favor for favor, as you've called it before.
Yes.
What is it? What's value? What's V for V?
I feel like I know it, and then I go to give a definition. It's not. My brain just fogs up. But it's like you put out things, and if people see value for it, they give back value.
Yes.
It's a cycle of giving and receiving value.
Yes, it's a
Whatever
cycle
that
of
means.
it's a cycle of giving and reciprocating the value that you get in whatever exchange is being happened. So
A+.
yeah, no, it's
Gold star.
Shannon, yeah, that was phenomenal. Value for value, baby. Value for value. But yeah, value for value is. I want to put more and more value in the shows. I want there to be inspiring information. I want there to be relatable information. I want there to be innovative information. Yeah. That's why I'm trying to interview more artists and use these new models, use these better systems that make a better world. And value for value is a better system. Mm-hmm. Value for value is I think it's the future. I think it's a revolution of how people are going to create online. By the way,
go to value4value.info for more info. Then download the Fountain.fm app. It's the best way to support the show.
Value4value.info. That gives a great breakdown of what this thing is. Right off the bat, it's a lot of different things. It's a content model. It's monetization. It's a feedback loop. It's also time, talent, and treasure. So pretty much, if you're listening to this right now, value for value means that you're able to engage with me in 3 different ways. Time, just by listening, just sharing this, liking this, engaging with the video, doing whatever you can with the content right in front of you. That's your time. Thank you. That's your attention. Thank you for giving me your attention. I hope this has been interesting. The talent, if you want to chime in and if you have any connections to resources, whether that be information on a topic or boots on the ground reporting of an experience you have, of whatever we talk about, like that's your talent. Like if you want to provide that, please provide that, because we're talking about narratives. We're trying to be innovative. We want up-to-date shit. We want to be like good. We want there to be a better future. Like I don't want this thing to be like a Tim Pool complaining about everything, you know? Like that shit's annoying. Like I want there to be answers. I want there to be hope. I want there to be just a real path to a brighter place. So and value for value is that. So if you want to give your talents to a better future, give your talents to me, man. Come on, like share them. And then the last thing is treasure. That's of course money. I got 2 avenues for that. You can do PayPal, or if you really want to support the podcast, you can download the Fountain.fm app, or you can download any modern podcasting app. Go to podcastapps.com. There's a whole suite of apps that you can choose from. Figure out what your app is, what your favorite app is. And you can send me a boostagram. A boostagram is when you send me little bits of Bitcoin, Satoshis, and you can send a message with them. And I'm going to be reading some boostagrams right now from people who supported me last week. Number 94, Seeking More. Only got a couple people here. The first one comes in. She's actually sitting right next to me from @ShannonP. She sends in a whopping 333 Satoshis. She says, for Matthew Perry, yes. Last week Matthew Perry died. We're both tour guides at Warner Brothers. We felt this pain. We worked on the Friends set ourselves. Matthew Perry, rest in peace. Yeah. But Shannon also says, also ironic. So last week I was talking about how raw milk in California was recalled. Shannon says, it's ironic that lettuce is constantly being recalled for E. coli, yet no one demonizes salad the way they do other foods. And Shannon, I think you're 100% right.
Boostar.
Lettuce sucks, dude. Like
My dad still won't get lettuce at Chipotle because the amount of times it's been like recalled, even though
good.
it's only happened a few times.
Good. I work
stuck
with
with
lettuce.
him.
I work with lettuce on a daily basis in my kitchen. I'm telling you, it's always shit.
Yeah.
It's always it's one of the most disgusting plants that we buy. You know, every plant is covered in dirt. Like, have you ever thought about that? Like,
Yeah.
all the plants are covered in dirt.
Well, and I feel like they really rely on lettuce to like stay alive and like stay good.
They're
for
trying
way
to keep
longer
it fresh
than needs to be.
for a very long time. Yeah.
Specifically the lettuce.
So they're going to manipulate the seed, and they're going to keep it in a certain warehouse and they're going to keep it around chemicals, whatever, dude. It's just, it's always yellow. It's always dirty. There's always like a dead fly on it. Like it's just this.
Limpy.
It's nasty, dude. And then I get yelled at because I'm not cutting it right. I'm not cutting the lettuce. It's so annoying. I hate lettuce. I hate plants. The last one comes from at Joel W. He sends in a satchel of Richards, 1,111 sats. He says, recall milk for 9 cases of salmonella, but a certain medical product continues its destruction unbated. Clown world indeed. I drink a mix of raw eggs and raw milk every day. Screw their fear porn.
Boosting is loving.
Thank you, Joel.
And now, as the French say, it is time for le boost.
Joel, how many raw eggs do you have a day, my guy? How many raw eggs, sir? You're on some Rocky shit.
That's hardcore.
You know that Joel is actually close to the age of my father?
Really?
He's like a few years younger than my dad. Like 3 or 4.
That's wild.
Yeah,
Mix
yeah,
of
yeah.
raw eggs and raw milk.
Yeah, I mean, my dad's got to get on that.
I want you to try that. That's wild.
I don't want the raw egg. I'm not a raw egg guy.
I feel like that'd be so hard to swallow.
I mean, you just got to, just whisk it.
Yeah.
Because Rocky did the egg yolk,
Yeah.
but yeah, I think he whisks.
I will.
Sounds like he whisks.
Yeah. I
Because
will
if you have raw egg, because pretty much think about this, raw egg and milk, that's half a cake batter.
I was about to say that's baking.
Yeah, so like that's all you're doing. You're just
That's wild.
That's
really cool.
So add in some of your brownie mix and drink that. You got yourself
Chocolate.
You got yourself a little protein mix, a little protein chocolate mix, dude.
That's sick. That's impressive.
Thank you to all those people who saw value in the show. The value just keeps on growing here at America Plus. Shannon, honestly, I've been doing a value for value for over 1.5 years, close to 2 years. 2 years is coming up soon. what's been your viewpoint on me engaging with this system? Because I'm leaning into it big time. Like I'm really,
I don't think it's sick.
this is the future of how I'm podcasting.
Yeah.
Forever.
No, I think it's really cool. I didn't fully get it at first. It was like, okay.
Yeah.
It had to be explained a few times. I didn't really get the value of it, to be honest. But then as you were doing it, I was like, okay, this makes sense. And then when I started listening and got on Fountain and everything, and you showed me all the different stuff with it, I was like, okay, this makes sense. And
Yeah.
I
So
think it's
what?
sick.
When did that click? When you started using that app a bit more, or
Yeah, probably a few episodes in, and then when I started doing the drawings for you, it made a lot more sense with how Fountain itself worked, how the app worked.
what were you seeing? How was it working in your eyes? What were you
Just gave a tangible thing to the value for value idea.
You were able to see the value come in.
Yeah,
That's
I
what you're
was
able to do.
That makes sense, and seeing how I could send it and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Just made a lot of sense, and just seeing all the different connections you've made with it, and people you've had on your show from it is really cool, and the consistent people that listen every week is really cool.
Well, I want to do more with it because one of the goals with Magic Mushroom Fun Time is that I want to have everyone who helps me on the show be on the show, and they'll get a split. And I need to be better at that. I didn't give you a split last time you were on in September, but I want to give you but because you're on the show, the entire point, the entire point of this system, there's a decentralized way to put out media, and then there's a decentralized money, and you can hook those up. And so I just want to be more consistent with that and give you that value. If we're able to have the value flow, let's have the value flow. Let's do it. So I'll be better at that. But everyone who's helping me make the movie, I want them on the show. I want them to get in on the value. And I want to try to figure out, I was talking to Kyron, and I want to try to figure out, or he wanted to figure out how to do a video podcast. Okay. And him and I are trying to do a thing where it might be possible, it might not be, but it might be possible to have the short film be a video podcast.
Oh, okay.
And that is yet another way to get in value for value and the splits, because then it's not just it's not just the podcast and the interviews. Then it's actually the video. Go to this link and you're able to boost the video in that same area. We'll see if it's possible. It's going to take a lot of data. It's a lot of what do you call it? Server space.
Yeah.
It's going to take a lot of. It just takes a lot to distribute video.
Yeah.
The way you do podcasting tech. So it might not be possible. I mean, it's possible for a minute-long video. So I might need to do something shorter than short, short, tripled, what's the little three? The squared and then cubed.
Cubed.
I do short cubed.
I was like, what are you talking about?
Short cubed.
That makes sense. That'd be sick, though.
That's what needs to happen, but we'll see if that can happen. And so pretty much if someone sees value in the short film, the idea is that they can just send in Bitcoin right then and there, and that Bitcoin in real time is being split up to all the artists' wallets. And that's the innovation. That doesn't happen, because for every other, doesn't matter what it is, for every other thing, for every movie, song, everything being produced, a house, that money is going into banks, and then it takes days to process and all this stuff, and then it needs to be dilly-dallied, and then sometimes it's you have to specify if you want it in your account, or you need to specify if you want a check.
Yeah.
Bitcoin is all digital. Bitcoin is all just boom, bada bing. It's right then and there.
Yeah.
It's instant. So that's where the value is. That's what I'm trying to dig into. That's the real innovation.
Yeah.
And I hope people see it. That's what I hope. Yeah. It's sort of just yelling into the void right now, because like you said, you didn't really understand value for value until you started playing around with it.
Yeah.
And so that's a threshold that we got to move through. If I want value for value to be mainstream, then I sort of just need to continue to just push it. I need to continue to encourage people to just experiment with a new system, experiment with new apps, new podcasting apps, new ways to support creators that you're following, because it's coming to a place where we're sort of picking our preferences, our preferred social medias.
Yeah.
Because I'm seeing people just go to Facebook. I'm seeing people just stay on Instagram.
Yeah.
I'm seeing people only on TikTok. You know, I'm like, I float because I post, but like I'm pretty much just on Twitter.
Same.
So there needs to be something else when it comes to like those centralized things. You know, there needs to be a mainstream option, a mainstream decentralized option.
Yeah.
And that's value for value. It's the model, it's a lifestyle, it's a monetization. It's the future, dude. Like, it's important. Value for value. Yeah.
I like it.
Anyway. 55 minutes.
Killing it.
That's a lot of value, yeah?
Yeah.
What else do you want to talk about? Do we have anything else to discuss? Like, any other points on value for value? Do I need to share anything else? Did I say I was going to share anything else?
I don't think so. I think you had everything you were going to say.
I am so thirsty for a glass of water right now. I'm parched.
I gotcha.
But with that, I think that's it. Yeah? Yeah?
Felt good.
Shannon, that was perfect. Thank you for sharing your goals. I hope you achieve your goals.
Thank you.
I hope people get inspired to achieve their goals. I think it's possible. So, yeah, thanks for being on.
Of course. Thank you.
All right. That's America Plus, bitch. Stay free.